Okay, so good morning, everybody. My Portuguese is very limited to asking for a passaporte, since I used to work in hotels. So my name is Bruno, and I am the founder and of a company called dmbook.pro. It stands for Duty Manager Book Pro. You can look it up. And I'm here to tell you, basically, if you are running a hotel school, you are doing a great job, because I'm your success story. If you're a student, then keep going, because it brought me where I am today. And, well, that's pretty much the audience, isn't it? A couple of things. I grew up in Paris. I'm French, and I was a terrible student. Very, very bad. At 15, basically, I had no choice but to go for a vocational curriculum, and I chose to go for a catering school. So, and really, it changed my life in a way that was the first thing I can say today, 10 years after leaving school. It changed my life because I went from being a terrible student that would have probably fallen out of the system to being a very good student, to being top of my class. And someone that was sent to do a 2-year certification to be a waiter went on to do 6 years. So that's been the first takeaway. It changed my life also because we have, I think, an amazing trade where we can travel. I'm here today. I worked in Ireland. And now I live in Ireland. I worked in Paris, and I also worked in Scotland, and I went to Canada, and I'm in Portugal. So there you go. It's a beauty of the trade we're in. The next thing catering school taught me was, and maybe I need to say a little bit about the kind of catering school I've been in, because I don't know anymore now what it looks like. We were taught really old-fashioned, high French standards. So I was told to wait tables, cut lovely pieces of meat, cut fish in front of the customer at their table, serve them. I was taught as a cook for a Michelin-star restaurant to very, very high standards. And then in terms of hospitality, in terms of hotels, the same. We were told to service and run a 5-star palace kind of hotels. And that served me all my life, because when you're able to do 5-star, it's easy to come back down. But doing the other way around, I've seen it as a professional trying to hire staff. It's very hard to teach them to say, good morning, madam, good morning, sir. It's much easier to teach them to do the job than to teach them high standards. And along my career in France and in the UK, I went and fetched people every time I needed staff in catering school. I contacted local school, helped them when they needed professionals, typically, when they needed degrees, and people to be there, sit there on the jury, and always to catch the new talent, always to get the best in my team, get them straight out of the school. So that's the second thing I took away, is the high standards I was taught in catering school that served me very well all my life. I've kind of let them down a little bit. We used to have always been a suit and tie. Now I'm not even shaved, but I will. The third thing is resilience. From the very beginning, since I was 15 when I started, we had very long hours in the school. We were there from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and if we had to do the service in the school restaurant in the evening, we were there until 11 midnight. We were sent to many, many placements, and I can't stress enough how, if you are responsible for the curriculum, push them to go and do placement. This is really where you learn. Because what I learned in school, really, that old-fashioned industry, I've never used it, but I used the standards that I was told, and I use attention to details. This is the fourth thing I took away. So very high attention to details. You're being taught as part of the luxury training you get. And in my career, that served me right. In Dublin, when I had worked in a hotel, it was going from 3 to 4-star. And so as a front of house manager, I was put in charge of the entire project. Then in Paris, again, from 4 to 5 stars, trying to upgrade the hotel from 4 to 5 stars. And then in Scotland again, kind of became my card, my expertise, a complete rebranding again from 4 to 5 stars. And along this, I always went back to small things that I learned in school, as the attention to details you need, what makes difference between a 3 and a 4-star, what really is going to make difference between a 4 and a 5-star. And I'm not talking just about renovating the rooms and adding a spa or adding you name it. This is the easy bit. It's training the staff and making sure the service is the next step. That's the fifth thing I learned from catering school, and I can say for sure, was the framework it gave me. I was told, especially as a cook, to always be prepared. And not from the boss cooks, I got it from the chef in the kitchen. Always be prepared. And really what it taught me is that we don't do a very complicated job. Hospitality is not complicated. It's hard work. But if you're organized, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of pleasure, and it's actually quite easy to implement. I can say this now, and if anybody says different, I say to them, try to create a tech startup that doesn't know what the revenue model is, that doesn't know pretty much anything, and trust me, I wish I would have opened an hotel, because it would have been much easier. So always be prepared, and the framework, the organizational framework this gave me, is how today I run a company. Because working in hotels, working from the front of house, I realized the lack of organization there was. And the company, dmbook.pro today, is about making the back of house, that internal organization, easier. It's about effective tracking and effective follow-up of anything, from guests, complaints, maintenance, lost and found, where people are, what events is on, you name it. We help behind the scenes. This is what dmbook.pro does. So again, if I was to say what I got from catering school, well, this is why I have a company today. To give you an example of the kind of problem we answer, very real, didn't get it today, but last week I was at a different event in a hotel, and when I asked reception where the event was, they didn't even know there was an event on, and they told me to just go along to the room and see, and it was actually on the screens in the conference center. I didn't get this today here, it was brilliant. I walked in and he was like, oh, you must be here for the talk. So that was brilliant. And then the last thing I took away from catering school is that, and actually it's when I was doing one of the placements in the south of France, my boss, the GM told me of the hotel, told me, if you're going to work in a hotel or in a restaurant, you just have to know a little bit of everything. And he said this to me as he was building a lamp out of a nice piece of wood. And I can't stress enough how today I realize that everything that didn't seem relevant when I was in school, all those accounting class, all those hours of sales and marketing, all those hours of management, human resources, you name it, things that didn't seem straight in relevance with being working in hotels or working in a restaurant. Today, as an entrepreneur, I am heavily relying on all of those. And people are surprised. I'm talking to mentors and on some programs and so on. People are surprised how much background I have in accounting, in marketing, in sales, and it's serving me right. So there you have it. The 6 things I took away from catering school. One, well, it changed my life because of the opportunities it opened. 2, I got really high standards that allowed me to feel comfortable in any situation and in any area. 3, the resilience to never give up, and that it is hard work, but it's a lot of fun and it's a big reward. 4, the attention to details. And this is, in today, I hear a lot about, obviously, the industry struggling a bit with the change going on. This is what makes a difference, the attention to details, the quality of service. 5, to always be prepared. And finally, you have to know a bit of everything. So I hope I contributed to the debate, because I can't understand a lot of things that was said. The schools looked lovely. It looks a great picture. And if I help the debate, help us out, check us out. The company is dmbook.pro. It's called www.dmbook.pro. Thank you.
You have a nice product. What does your product do? So, 1 minute sales pitch. Go ahead.
In a nutshell, we're basically trying to create a virtual assistant hotel manager. So it's a tool, it's not to replace staff, it's a tool that is here to help you manage a team and the communication within the hotel effectively. I am not talking about yet another guest gimmick, something that the guest can talk with you. We have plenty of those. The problem in hotels is we still rely on this. We still rely on post-it notes. We still rely on notebooks, diary, and whatnot. And we can't use this while our guests use WhatsApp, FaceTime, and can order Uber or a taxi from their phone or a pizza. So I'm leveraging the field. I'm bringing to the hospitality industry a tool for them to use behind the scene to be more efficient and reduce guest complaint by a third, because a lot of complaints on TripAdvisor are due to miscommunication between the team, something that wasn't passed on correctly to the right person.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.